lives, remote teaching locations. Yes, that pandemic. On my way to becoming a teacher, I stopped by a few Christian liberal arts schools and picked up a history degree and a theater education and ministry degree, and I just found that ultimately what I wanted to do, I just wanted to make sure that the history and the love of story and the love of the biblical narrative all came together. I got to do something with that. Yay. But I did have one problem. I loved word origins. I was just horrible with studying other languages. Fortunately, I've been blessed to get to hear and discuss word origins with others who are knowledgeable and studied and were able to survive Greek and Hebrew and such as Pastor Bob. Thank you for what you do and bring to our messages. My mom, who loves word origins, as part of her being a reading professor for years. My relatives and my cousins that are in ministry and survive Bible school, and that's their forte. And then those of you that recommended the podcast of those that love to dissect verse by verse. In fact, that's a podcast I'd recommend. It's called Verse by Verse with Justin Thomas, I believe. Anyway, word origins. Can I share 4 with you real quickly? From Genesis chapter 7. Then the Lord said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. So if I may, 4 words. First off, what are they talking about? Of course, we all know. Talking about the flood. The flood. And we say it with a capital F, and we all know what we're talking about. Every ancient culture had a flood story because they also knew what we were talking about. The flood here, the Hebrews had an understanding of what the flooding was. I mean, they lived at that time in the Nile when Moses was writing these, and they had another word for that. Even the extreme floods and downpours, they had another word for that. Nowhere else in Old Testament or New Testament, except when referring to this flood, is this one word used. The best way to translate it is cataclysm, something that's life-altering for everybody worldwide. The next word is, of course, the hero of our story. His dad named him Noah, which means rest, but not like he was naming one of the 7 dwarves, like he's naming him Sleepy. This is actually a word that is also used in one other place. It's when the ark rests on the mountains of Ararat. It's the kind of like peaceful landing that can be found when you come through a storm, weathered and wiser. But this doesn't mean boat. There are other terms and words used for boat in the Bible. The only other place that we use this is when the author, Moses, uses it to describe the basket that his mommy put him in on the Nile. It's an escape from the waters, or what can overtake or swallow others. And last but not least, come into the ark, you and your household. As in, come in here, in the ark, where I am present. We're so used to thinking of God on the outside of the ark, closing the door, causing the storm. We forget that he promised Noah and his family that he would be with them through it. So if I'm hearing God right, whose nature does not change, no matter the age, this is an example of him saying, in a life-altering, worldwide, cataclysmic event, come, let me provide an escape for what is overtaking so many others. And if you are listening and you hear me, may you have the peace that I bring and the weathered wisdom on the other side of the storm.